Hello, today I'm making a little video that's kind of a tutorial slash informational video about what to do when you see bookings coming in to the RMS that we made here at Share, just to kind of show you all your options. So the bookings will come in to your bookings dashboard with the most recent booking at the top. So this one here for Doug Morrison just came in. You can see when it was created. That was 5 minutes ago. Perfect. Let's double click on that to open the Manage Booking tab, and from here you can see all of the related information for your booking. So you've got the customer information, you've got the order summary, the total cost, subtotal plus tax, you've got the items involved in the booking as well as delivery information. So this customer did not request delivery, but let's say they did, where they messaged you after the fact saying, hey, I need that delivered. You can add the delivery easy peasy, and then add the delivery fee if necessary. And they said drop it off in backyard please. Cool. And then you can add delivery very easily like that. And as you can see, that new delivery cost is now reflected in the total. You can also view your waivers or your contracts, whichever one. Then you can send a reminder for the customer to sign that waiver. And then you can also see when the waiver is signed. You can see here like the completion process is at 0% right now, 0 completed. This will be 100% once the customer signs it. As well as at the top here, you can see contract unsigned. That will be checked on. Alright, now if you contact the customer and they have some things they would want to add to the booking or some differences from what they initially put, you can modify the booking. And from here, let's say they wanted to add a day, you can go like this and add a day. If you want to add, let's say they needed some more chairs and they want them to be white, okay, bang, you can add another chair. Also, if you want, you can change the price. Like, okay, well, we're charging $30 for this chair now. Boom, price change, and all that gets reflected in here. Just save changes that way. Okay, now you've modified the booking to include all of the necessary things. Now let's send an invoice to the customer, right? So this booking right now is just a request. They said, I want these items for these dates, and you have to assure that that all works for you, and then you will accept the booking. But first you need to collect, for example, a deposit or send an invoice to the customer for them to agree upon before you accept their booking. So you can do that by clicking this button right here. You can add a personal message. For example, like if you want to take an e-transfer, you can say, hey, e-transfer us at XYZ, so that way they know where to send the money to. And let's say you have a 50% deposit that you need to collect before a booking will be accepted. Toggle that on, select the 50% deposit. You can also make it a fixed amount of like $200 or a custom percentage of like 20%, whatever you want to do. Let's just do the 50% for now. Preview this invoice, and this is what it'll look like. So it'll let them know right at the top, we need that 50% deposit, and we will confirm your booking. And once this money comes in, if it comes in through e-transfer, you'll have to accept the booking manually, which I'll show you in just a moment. Otherwise, if they pay through the link within the email, it'll just accept the booking like that in the system. It also lets them know not to reply to this email and to contact you directly. They can click this button and it'll lead them to a contact page for you. Shows them the whole breakdown of everything, including all of the information about the delivery and stuff like that. And then right now there's no payment button because there's no payment processor connected to this store. But if you were to connect with the payment processor, there would be a button right here below this card that says deposit, pay deposit to confirm. Click that and they can enter their payment information and pay you that way. Okay, that's everything that's on the invoice. You can click to send it just like that, and then it'll come to the customer, which I'll show you in just a moment once that loads. And then to collect the rest of the payment, let's say they paid the 50% deposit. Okay, since they paid the deposit, I will accept this booking, and now the booking is confirmed. The status has changed to confirmed, which means that these items are officially marked as rented. So no one can, request to rent these items for the same time period, or the system won't allow you to do so. And then if you want the payment up front, you can just go here and send a payment link like this. You can collect e-transfer and just mark it as paid. There's no button to do that right here because the payment processor isn't set up, because this is a fake store, but there should be a button to say mark as paid. You can also select in person, and you can take the payment in person through a card reader. Okay, let's go here. This is the booking confirmed button, or email, letting the customer know that their booking has been confirmed, and it shows all of the details. This is the deposit, or not the deposit, sorry. This is the invoice that the customer received, so they see, hey, pay this deposit, e-transfer us at XYZ, bang, they send the e-transfer, and it confirms the booking, and they receive this email. This was the reminder to complete the waiver that we sent earlier that the customer now sees, so they can click on this and really quickly complete the waiver. This is for like a bike rental shop if they need heights to determine what size bike. I'm 12 inches tall. Bang. Waiver signed just like that. And if we go here and refresh, reflects as contract having been signed, so you can keep track of it super easily that way. Alright. That is kind of what to do when you first get a booking within the system. You double check all the information, you can modify it if necessary, you can invoice, collect deposits, send payment links, or collect payments through this button here. And yeah, you can also cancel the booking if you want. You can download the invoice as a PDF and send it separately like that. Kind of have a lot of options in here. Additionally, you can add notes, so it's like this customer is throwing a surprise party. Please be discreet, or whatever, just relevant notes about the booking. And these notes will then save in the booking, and the latest note will be at the top here. So you can just kind of hover over that and see it at the top. Couple more things just to cover everything. Another thing you can do is add team members. So if you have a big staff and you need to assign people to certain bookings or certain events, you can assign a team member, and that way that team member is linked to it and they will be able to directly see that when they view their calendar. Additionally, you can add tags where, let's say you add the tag of you contacted a customer, they didn't pick up. Say contacted customer, no pickup. Create that as a tag, assign it a color, and then you can use this color coding to kind of keep track of the point you're at in the communication with the customer. And this doesn't just display here. You can also go to the bookings dashboard. Let me refresh, and you'll see, okay, this one's tagged right here, contacted customer, no pickup. And that way you can see kind of all the places your bookings are at. Then if you go in the calendar, you can also see the tag right here on the left, contacted customer, no pickup. And if you click on this, you can see all the details. Then if you go to the week view, for example, and you go to employees view, you can see Doug Morrison is now assigned to this booking right here as the employee. Okay, I believe that covers most of what you can do in this manage booking screen. There may be a couple more things that I didn't get to, but they're a little bit more of the nitty-gritty that aren't really necessary for the average transaction. So with that in mind, I will leave this video here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, we're going to be making more tutorials to come here for different actions you can do in the RMS. Hopefully these help. Thank you.